We continue to help each other. We continue to help others rise and be good mentors, be good introducers, be really powerful at making sure that we've done what we can to help others thrive.
I think it's exciting to see now women in leadership roles across the state. So we've got furniture with Andy Owen, we've got cars with Mary Barra, electricity with Patty Poppy, in even the state level with Gretchen Whitmer, and city level with having a woman leader with Rosalind Bliss, and the health system with Tina Fries-Decker and Joan Budden. I think it's pretty exciting to think about where we are today and how far we've come as a group and community.
Just say yes to opportunities. I ended up thankfully learning that fairly quickly, and I think that that's served me fairly well, but that's always the advice I would give to a younger me or to someone else is, you know, if somebody's offering an opportunity that seems scary or that maybe takes you a little bit out of your comfort zone, you learn a ton from that, and I think it pays dividends.
Most of my mentors and people that I've worked with and that I've learned the most about leadership or how to move forward and how to do so successfully and with humility and in a thoughtful manner are those women who have talked to me about it.
I think that our community is full of people who have so many talents, and we don't all have the same ones. And so it's really neat to be able to work with each other on figuring out what is next for Grand Rapids in our own strengths that we can find. I'm not great at things like being a politician or being a technological person, but I have my strengths that I can help people.
The way that I feel we can ensure that women's influence continues to grow is, in my case, being for others what I didn't have. As a young professional, there were times that I wanted professional advice or someone to help guide my career, and that was difficult to find.
Help others, whether it's through the networking, collaboration circles, mentoring others, being with the young women such as high school seniors or college students to explore career opportunities, and helping connect each other to either resources or other support services.
What is community? The community is the people that are here, and if we aren't using the people that are here to make this place better, is it going to become better? I don't think it will. So I think really basing your success off of other people's success is a better spectrum of how you should be involved in the community.
The people I really look up to are the women that are brave and strategic and are willing to take a couple hits. Because again, if we're not willing to take a couple hits for our daughters and for our nieces and for all of the women behind us, then we're gonna stagnate, right?
I think we as a community have to be committed to continue to see change in the elevation of women leaders in our community, women of color leaders, but I think not just for women, but just for the entire community of people of color.
It's great to like people and to have friends and relationships, but when you do work in community, it's not really, to me, it's not really about friends and relationships. It's like, what is that goal? And so you might work with people who have a different opinion or who have, different values than you, but if you can agree that you want to do this for the betterment of our community or group of people, that's really what matters.
West Michigan is a really cool place. We're so fortunate to live here. We get to live where everybody comes to vacation. And it all boils down to the people. And especially in my role at a Chamber of Commerce, it's those entrepreneurs that have an idea, a spark, and have grown it into world-class companies here in our community.
I think we have to be committed to not settling, thinking that we've achieved some goal, because we haven't. There are so many amazing women in this community that don't get recognized, don't get appreciated, don't get the opportunities. We have a lot of work to do, so I don't think we can get complacent with where we think we are.
Whenever anyone experiences difficulty or trauma, in that there is a resiliency that is developed, and even in the most difficult circumstances, there's something that we learn and can provide opportunity to go forward.
I've faced a lot of challenges in my journey, challenges with starting a business, being a startup business, challenges with being a woman, challenges in working in the cannabis industry, but I think the key is being persistent and not willing to give up and really focus on what you truly believe in and what you're passionate about.
I get a great deal of satisfaction when I connect two people that I think can benefit each other. And I think how we can have women's influence in West Michigan continue is if everybody did that, if everybody connected people. I might get a deal out of it, I may not, but more than anything, I want these two people to benefit.
I grew up with 9 older sisters, and they taught me by leading by example, by mentoring and nurturing, and helping me to see that every door is open and that we can work together with men in the community. And that is my heart's desire, to mentor other young women and make sure that they know that all the doors are open for them too.
I don't think gender is a leadership trait. This is a list of 50 women who are influential, and I think it's relevant to call that out because there is still a difference. I mean, there still is a difference in the acceptance. I work in an industry that's really dominated by men. Sometimes I feel that. So, sometimes I exploit it too. It's not. I don't know that the community hasn't done enough to help women.
There's a huge movement right now, as you very well are aware, of women and women in positions of power. Women at the C-suites, in the C-suites. Women entrepreneurs is one of the fastest growing segments that there is, particularly women of color entrepreneurs is one of the fastest growing segments. As women, we need to empower other women and we need to support other women.
Well, I think we've come a long way over the last 30 plus years to help women thrive in Grand Rapids. It didn't used to be that way. But over the past 30 years, a lot of women in very powerful positions, 50 again at this event, we've come a really long way, but we also have to continue to support the young women who are on their way up and mentor them and support them so that as we're exiting the stage, there are other women behind us who will continue the momentum that we've built over the last 30 years.
I knew from when I was in high school that I wanted to make a difference, but I had no idea what that would be. And then later on, I would say in my late 20s is when I realized that I can be myself. That was a big turning point, is to try to do whatever I was going to do as myself and not trying to be somebody else.
The hustle is real. The hustle is real. But I think when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. I don't call it work. I never call it work. I never say I'm going to work because it is a calling. This is the work that I am called to do on this earth. I'm called to work specifically in this area and to work on society's most pressing problems. And I feel so called to do that each and every day is a gift.
You fight and claw in a male-dominated industry to have a seat at the table. And looking back on it, now that I'm where I'm at and have made decisions to get here, all those things that got me here, I would never regret any of them. But I do look back and think, did I do things to be one of the guys? Did I do things that I didn't have to do, just trying to get to the leadership positions? And I want the next generation to not have to do that.
This last year, some of the most interesting conversations I've been in our community are around B Corps. They're around using business as a force for good, and they're around supporting local women-owned and people of color-owned businesses. And I would love for us to think about, as we move forward as a community, being more intentional with our purchasing power and recognizing that we individually have the ability, both as consumers and also through our businesses, to support those businesses and create a climate that makes it easier for them to succeed and to continue to grow and to flourish.
I think the really cool thing about West Michigan that I appreciate from a business perspective is the amount of collaboration that happens with business, with community, with home, with family, like the holistic nature with which this community asks for you to engage and expects and embraces people who come, to me has been a really It's been an awesome part of my engagement in Grand Rapids. It's taken a while, but I'd say 25 years in, I feel like I can now represent that to others.